Hello. Welcome back to Radiant Mama, a little corner where we talk about real life, real faith, and just the in-between moments of motherhood that don't necessarily make sense. I'm Reagan, a single mom of two beautiful kids. So if this is your first time tuning in, I'm so glad you're here. If you've been hanging out with me for a while, welcome back. You already know this space is cozy, honest, real. Just full of love when life is rocky. In today's episode, it's a mix. It's a little personal because truly a lot has been happening with Amari, but it's also just born out of real conversations that I've been hearing and just been a part of in the autism community recently. In my messages at church, in waiting rooms, at therapy, in my own spirit, just different moms asking questions like how to support their child through a big transition, how to trust the school system with our kids just as this upcoming school year is right before us, how to hold on to hope when progress may seem small, so just questions that I've been hearing and just advice. So this episode, it's not just my story, but it's a lot of our stories. So for every mom, caregiver, aunt, friend, teacher, whatever you may be walking this journey, I just hope that you find something through this. I hope God speaks to you in whatever way he wants to speak through you. So yeah, it's for y'all, and I just want to be able to reach us, be able to have people love us more, understand our kids more. So grab your drink, grab your snack, throw on something comfy. I don't care what you need to do. Let's just jump in. The other day, Amari, he's so funny. I feel like his stims or just regulation techniques, sometimes they obviously help him, and then sometimes when he's doing it, you could tell he's not regulated, So the other day, Amari was pacing around, he's giggling, he's humming, and to everybody else, it probably just looked like he was being silly, full of energy, but to me, I could tell his nervous system was in overdrive. He wasn't playing around. It wasn't his normal fun mood. It was him trying not to spiral. It's him trying to regulate and to stay present. And so just did what I've learned to do as learning my son, but also just educating myself, is to get down on the floor with him and hold him, provide those deep pressure techniques to his arms, his legs, tempo squeezes, big bear hugs, just slowing down and continuing to, whisper and speak over him. You're safe. I'm right here. Just to pray over him in my head. And a few minutes later, as he's regulating himself, he's calming down. He kissed me. One of those, Amari, he doesn't have the motor planning yet to pucker his lips and actually, do a kiss like normal people, but it's still a kiss. He knows what he's doing. It's just a little slobbery. But it was unexpected, and I don't know, it's just everything, that's his way of saying that he's found his calm. It's his way of showing you, a thank you, that you're trusted, that was regulation and that was connection. And connection, you don't need verbal or spoken language for connection, I want to slow it down, though, so you can really realize. Let me slow the moment down, because I think it's also just a part of educating, it's important that we really understand what's happening in those moments. So when an autistic child is dysregulated, it doesn't mean that, obviously I've said before, I hope y'all have heard, but it doesn't mean that they're being bad or throwing a tantrum. It means that their nervous system is overwhelmed, which I'm sure y'all have been in a place of your own, where you feel overstimulated, whether it be from lights, sounds, transitions, emotions, textures, too much going on at once, you just feel overstimulated, you start freaking out. So that's kind of the extent of being unregulated. So it's their body isn't processing all the same, you know. And so stimming is one of the ways that I guess it's a tool, you know, to help them try and stay grounded. And I'm sure you've heard of stimming, but stimming stands for a self-stimulatory behavior. So spinning, humming, jumping, flapping, pacing, all these things, you know, it's their ways of releasing energy, of calming down, or processing something that's going on inside. So it's not weird. It's just a tool. If you've been around Amari, or maybe your son, you know, for example, like Amari flaps, he hums, he has vocal stems, so he'll scream or make sounds or hum, like I said, hums, you know. He also is very, I guess you can say, stimulated by chewing, so he chews on everything. He has a not auditory, but a what is it called? A just sensory for chewing, seeking, oral seeking. So he chews on toys, he chews on hoodie strings, he chews on his sleeves, he chews on toothbrushes, he chews on toys, he chews on anything, you know. So I used to feel scared of it, you know, like a sign that it was something was wrong, you know, like, oh, what do I need to do? Let me help distract him, like get him into something else, remove him from this environment. But nothing's wrong. I can take a step back and see it for what it truly is, you know, if it being his way of staying here with me and being able to stay grounded. But I feel like before, when you just take a step back and you don't really know, it may look like something's wrong. So I get that. But that's obviously where education comes from. And yeah, we support it. We support it fully. I carry Chewy's little necklaces that have like a silicone Lego or block or whatever shape on it, just that he can chew on. Deep pressure, like I said, massage guns, or just your own palms. If you don't have any like massage gun or massager with you, movement breaks, sensory play, all these things, you know, that just help regulate their nervous system and allow it to just be in a place of where it can settle, you know. So yeah, I just want to remind y'all that stimming is not something that needs to be fixed. I feel like it just needs to have some awareness brought to it and be understood. And it comes from a place of just wanting people to just be better and do better, you know. I drop my son off at the church class, you know. Almost every Sunday we try and get him there, and he usually does good. But I just think there's just not a lot of education, you know. There's not a lot of training in places that just bring knowledge to stimming or to just regulation as a whole. And so I feel like some people are just confused and will just let them go in a corner and spin and scream because they think that's just what they're supposed to do. But I think a lot of the times also, yes, while stimming is there, it could be coming from a place of not being regulated. And so just being able to meet the child where they are and provide the help and just provide them with the tools that they need to be regulated. I feel like every person dealing and handling children should be equipped with that knowledge, you know? So I think just talking about it more, shedding light on it, whether you volunteer or, you know, other moms, you know, talk about it with them. Bring up a conversation, spark it, you know. Don't wait for someone else to start talking about it for then you to chime in and put your input. Like, start that conversation yourself. Take initiative to help want change, to help advocate. It means so much to us as a community. It means so much to me as a mother. Yeah, I just challenge y'all to really do that. Yeah, this question's just been circling heavy today and just lately from other moms is just, how do I know if I'm doing enough? So first, I want to say with love, if you're even asking that question, I feel like it already tells me that you are, because only someone who is present and intentional and loving would wonder that, you know? So if you're advocating, if you're showing up, if you're praying, if you're learning your children, if you're adjusting your life, if you're just loving, that's enough. I feel like we put a lot of pressure on ourselves. And God didn't ask us to do it perfectly. We don't really have a rule book. There's no book to motherhood. There's certainly no book to special needs motherhood. But God put us in this calling for a reason, and He's asked us to love our children like only we can, So if you're doing that, even on the days that it feels heavy, even when no one's clapping, you're doing it, you're not behind. So I feel like that should answer your question enough. But it also brings in the discussion of progress, because girl, it's not always going to show up with fireworks and full sentences. Sometimes it's just going to be rolling a ball, a stack of blocks. It may look small in quotations. Sometimes Amari's stacking blocks with me, not just next to me, but with me, and that's joint attention. And in the autism world, I feel like that's huge. It means his brain is saying, I see what you're doing and I want to do it with you. And that's social connection, emotional safety, coordination. It's 1,000 little things wrapped in one 3-block tower. And so when you look at it like that, that's progress. You see the progress in motor planning. You see the progress in joint attention. You see the progress in the brain's ability to think of a movement, to plan it out and do it, And so, yeah, it sounds simple. It sounds like that, small progress, tiny things, But that's a mountain. When Amari grabs the ball, when he holds it, aims it, rolls it, that's huge. That's not just play. That's progress. For him even wanting to pick up the ball and actually roll it. I spent months, years. We've been in therapy going on 3 years now, trying to get Amari just to roll a ball back and forth. And so now him doing it, that's progress. That's growth. We need to give ourselves a break. We need to stop comparing, and celebrate, Sometimes progress looks like making it through a grocery store without a meltdown. Sometimes it's him walking past, the candy aisle, without losing his mind. Or just holding my hand and walking through the store when it's loud. Those lights are bright. There's so many sounds, movement going on. And he's able to hold my hand and walk through the store instead of sitting in the cart. That's progress, These moments, they don't, make the highlight reel or whatever you want to say. It may not be a huge thing. They didn't hit a home run. But in our hearts, as a mother, this should be everything. This is the power of prayer. This is the fruit of going to therapy. This is the fruit of having patience with them. These little stepping stones, these little accomplishments, this is the fruit. This is what we're seeing. We're seeing it come to life. Things that we prayed about, tasks that we wanted to happen, they're happening. And so even if it's little, even if you're he put a shirt on today himself, celebrate that. Because there was a time when Amari wouldn't even put his arm through the shirt without me helping him. And now he's able to put it on his neck, put both arms in, and pull it down and make sure it's not on his stomach. That's progress, So whatever it may look like for your children or the students you have or the kids that you work with or wherever it may care for, whatever size or shape or form their progress is in, just make sure that we're celebrating it, that they're not feeling like they're doing this for nothing. Y'all, going to therapy, these kids are doing a lot to work. They're showing up and just trying to operate and function in a world that is not designed for them to operate and function in, so they're showing up and they're doing it. The least we can do is celebrate their wins, continue to be there along the way, providing support, love, and grace, and just showing up for them, that it's hard. Imagine you are just a little kid, you're going to school, you're going to therapy 4 or 5 times a week, at home, you're doing all these activities to try and learn and grow, It's a lot of brain work. It's a lot of body work. It's a lot emotionally, physically, mentally. It's a lot for these kids. And they're doing it, and they continue to do it. They might have a meltdown or slip up along the way, but they continue to show up for themselves. And I just think that they just deserve to be clapped for. The wins that maybe someone else may not clap for, us as parents need to be there clapping and cheering and screaming the loudest. They deserve that. And even if nobody else sees it, I see it, and God does too. So yeah, I just think we need to stop comparing and start clapping louder. That's what we need to do. And I think it will just really shift a lot in our mindset, and not only the way that we see our kids in their progress, but the way that society sees our kids in their progress. If we stop comparing and start clapping, then it makes room for them to stop comparing our children and to just start clapping as well. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, that's my challenge for y'all in that department. But let's talk about school, because I feel like that's one of the big ones I've been hearing about recently. Obviously, the school year's coming up sooner than some may like, but I have had a lot of moms really ask me about public school, because Amari is in public school, and I feel like just with neurodivergent children, public school there's a huge gray cloud around it, obviously, just because we all know that society has not paved a great way for neurodivergent children in public school. But I chose public school for Amari. And that decision, it came with a lot of prayer, obviously, because it feels like we're sending our children into a world of unknown. I used to lie awake wondering all the time, crying, panicking. He was supposed to start last August. He didn't even start till October, because I couldn't, I was just wondering, is his teacher going to understand him? Will they be able to help him if he's overwhelmed? What are they going to do to him? Will they see him beyond his behaviors? Will they be able to help ground him? What if they hurt him and he comes home? He can't tell me, just fear, just overwhelmed with fear in the concept of sending my child into public school, honestly, and God had to remind me that this is not just my kid, that God goes before him, that he's already walked the halls, he's already been in that campus, and he's there with him, that this is his child before it was mine. And I just really had to lay down that fear and pick up my faith, stand strong in my faith, and knowing that public school is where God called us, and I have to trust him. I have to trust that he's going to go be with my children. I'm not always going to be able to be with Amari, we're not always going to be able to walk alongside our children. And we have to trust that God is going to be in those environments and in those rooms with them, that, like he says, no weapon formed against them shall prosper. So it goes for our children also, that he's with us, he's protecting them and providing exactly what they need, and we have to have faith in that. We have to trust our God. And so, yeah, last year, Amari thrived. He had structure, he had routine, he had teachers that loved him, other faculty on campus, that would wave at him every day. The bus driver who was there dropping off other kids, I would do car rider line with him, but just the bus driver that would be there in the mornings too, even developed a relationship with him from just standing outside the school, and yeah, it was amazing. Our teacher, Amari's teacher was amazing, celebrated all the little wins, and it really shifted something in him. I began to see the fruit of that faith. The fruit of the faith that I had in sending him to school and allowing just Jesus to really work, to allowing Jesus to show up and provide where I thought was going to be just fear and scariness, provide light and progress and growth. And so it's not perfect, I still pray before dropping him off at school. I still ask questions all the time, and I feel like this year, I kind of sunk a little bit into that fear again, because his teacher that we had last year that we just grew to love moved to Alabama. So here we are. I'm like, Jesus, please, but I just have to trust and know that the teacher that we have next year, or this coming year, is in God's will for Amari, and will be exactly what we need for Amari. Just be able to work with these children, to love these children, to nurture these children, to respect these children, to keep these children safe. It's just what I have to hope for, what I pray for, what I have to have faith in. So I feel like if you are called to public school, don't let the guilt, don't let the shame talk you out of it. God's in those classrooms. God's in these schools. He's not just in church. He's not just at our household. He leaves these doors. He's not confined to a room. He's everywhere with us, and we have to have faith in that. And so I know obviously it is a gray area. Public school is a gray area with neurodivergent children, and a lot of us moms, I understand, I get what you're saying. Like, how do you do it? Because sometimes I truly don't know. Besides God, I don't know how I do it. But we have to have faith. We can't let the shame come. If you're able to stay at home and homeschool your children, and that's where God has called you to, amazing. That's a beautiful thing. It truly is. I'm not knocking it at all. But I also just don't want the moms who, you're not called to that. I could stay at home. I stay at home with my kids. I stay at home with my daughter, and I watch my friend's kid throughout the school year too. So I'm at home. So I could homeschool Amari. I know I could homeschool Amari. But that's not where God has called me. And Amari loves school. I was able to see it just after last year. Like I said, the fruits of him going, the excitement and joy he gets of going to school. He looks out the window at his school, and he's so excited every morning, So just know, if you're called to that God's in that classroom, and don't let yourself be overcome or overwhelmed with guilt or shame. Step into that faith, step into that trust, and knowing that our kids are protected in rooms even when we aren't there. So, to the friend, the aunt, the mom, the church member listening, if you love someone who's parenting a neurodivergent children, just don't assume, ask how she's really doing. Show up with coffee, lend a hand, her life is not probably just peaches and cream, just sunshine, rainbows, easy, offer to babysit, even if it's for an hour. Text her, go to a therapy session with her, educate yourself, don't just try and fix it. Don't think that you know everything. Don't treat their child like a label, talk to them, include them. Even if they may not verbally respond the way you expect, they still deserve to be seen, and not just accommodated. Not just, oh yeah, they can come, but no, show up for them. Go further than, oh, hi, how are you doing, Amari? And then walking away because he doesn't verbally respond. Like, that's not connection. That's not communicating. That's not accommodating, That's just doing the bare minimum. And I feel like it's time to really call it out and call it what it is, and to just do better as a society. It's more than, oh yeah, they have autism, oh, they can come, yeah, invite them, and then never talking to them, or never reaching out, or never trying to do anything else. Like, we have to do better. And we really just have to just call it like it is. Like, do better. Educate yourself. If you don't know what stimming looks like, if you don't know what other regulation techniques are, if you were to babysit a child right now and they had autism, would you be able to take care of them? Like, if the answer is no, educate yourself. Like, it's so simple. And so I really just call y'all to do it, Support isn't always big, it doesn't have to be big. Sometimes it's just a whisper, a check-in, a phone call, hey, I brought dinner. Like, that's all love, and it sticks, and it means so much to us. Just this time where I've just been seeing so many moms of special needs kids struggling, I've seen so much sadness over our community recently, and it makes me so sad because I never want anybody to feel like they're alone, to feel like they have nowhere to turn, to feel like they're unheard or unseen. And I feel like that's what's happening right now in our community. The more people I talk to, the more involved I get in the community, the more relationships I form just on social media or in public, with moms at Amari's Therapy Center, the more I'm just encountered with these same feelings of just not feeling support. And so it really is just, I feel like eye-opening, but also like gut-wrenching to me. Makes me sad. It makes me hurt. Obviously, you don't want anybody in your community to be feeling like this, especially when you see how easy of a fix it is to just be there, to open your doors, to open your heart, open up conversations for these moms and these families, these caregivers, these children, to just feel safe, heard, and seen. Just ways that we ourselves can be better as a society, as a community, as a church, whatever it may be. Just look at ways that we can be better in supporting kids with autism, parents who have special needs children, kids with any disability, really, I feel like it's on us just to be better about it. And you never know, you might think, oh, nobody in my family has to deal with that, or my kids don't have it, doesn't really affect me. But you never know. You truly never know. Somebody can become disabled tomorrow. And obviously they may not have autism tomorrow, but disabilities are disabilities. So you never know when it may hit you and your family. So you never want to be naive, A little tool that I did want to add in was, I guess you could just call like a sensory diet, which is something that it's just planned sensory input throughout the day, really, just to help regulate your children. I've been seeing a lot of things like that, and also I've had some questions too, but got some tips from moms of just different things to help regulate. So for Amari, it looks like I had mentioned, deep pressure, hugs, weighted blankets. He has a Lycra sheet, swinging outside, the chewy tubes, silicone necklaces, things like that. So heavy work, so if he's like pushing a laundry basket, or we have, what is it called? Not dumbbells, but a kettlebell, I think it's called. Is that what it's called? I don't know, y'all. I don't go to the gym. It's something like that. But just having him pick it up, a little 10 pounds, 15 pounds, any heavy work helps regulate them and just keep them grounded, so it doesn't have to be fancy. I just challenge y'all to just stay consistent with it. Just little things that help our kids stay grounded. I've seen a lot of moms also talking about implementing little circuits. So like we have a trampoline, and then we have like a tunnel that you can crawl through, and then we have like a little piano that you can walk on, and it makes all the sounds, right? So I'll have Amari jump on the trampoline for a little bit, and then we're going to crawl through the tunnel, and then we'll walk across a piano, make a little sound, and then we're going to go back to the trampoline, and we're going to jump on the trampoline, go in the tunnel, play on the piano, and then we'll go back to the trampoline. So just creating a little circuit like that with whatever you have in your house helps them stay regulated. It's brain work, so it's keeping their brains working and not giving them really a chance to get dysregulated. So just things like that. Other things that you can just implement. I'm just trying to help give y'all little teaching things through my real life and things that have worked through Amari. And of course, obviously, if y'all have anything else that you do for your kids that work, please let me know. Message them. I love to try new things with Amari. I like to be able to give advice to other moms. Some things that work for Amari may not work for other kids, but some things that work for y'all's kids may work for them. So just a community, just being able to bounce ideas and tools off each other. My messages are open. So please do not hesitate to ever message me like, hey, I listened to your podcast. I heard you message these things. We try this and it really helps. I love that. And I'm always open to advice and to teachings and just help in any way. So please don't hesitate to reach out. We're gonna close soon, but I just want to let y'all know that you're not alone. You're not failing, and you are loving in ways that, sometimes the world doesn't understand. But heaven sees it, and God sees it. And every meltdown you help regulate, every stem you honor and celebrate, every time you advocate, every single school form you fight for and sign. These IEP meetings are coming up here soon, y'all. Just praying over all the moms that have to deal with these IEPs walking into this new school year, Lord. Just really praying for them. But it all matters. Y'all matter, and your kids matter. And I want to pray for y'all. So please bow your head. I just really want to, feel like I need to pray for y'all. God, I just I thank you for these women, Lord. I thank you for their children, Lord. I thank you for autism, Jesus, that there's beauty in it, Lord, that we don't always need spoken language to hear love, Lord, to see love. I just thank you for the power and uniqueness, Lord. I thank you for the joy and the light that these children bring to our lives, Lord. I thank you for the chaos, Jesus, that we are learning patience, that we're learning strength, Lord, and we are learning how to see beauty in mess sometimes, Jesus. And I just thank you for that, Lord, that it's not always going to be gold, Jesus, but it will be good, and it will be powerful, Lord. And I just thank you for that, Lord. Thank you for giving us strength when we feel like we have none, Lord. I thank you for continuing to show up with us, Jesus, Lord, when we feel like we can't keep going, Lord, that you walk with us and bring us along, Lord. I thank you for these children. I ask that you just continue to cover our kids, Lord. I ask that you continue to cover every classroom, Lord, every room, every church, every therapy, every grocery aisle, Lord, wherever we may be, Lord, that you're in there. You're with our children. You are with caregivers, Lord. You're with therapists. You're with teachers. You're with all these moms, Lord. I just ask that you let us feel your presence, Lord, on loud days, God. I ask that even on the quiet days, Lord, that we feel your presence, Lord, that we are just coming to you with gratefulness and gratitude, Lord, that we are just coming to you with thanksgiving, Lord, that it may be hard, Lord, but we are so thankful that you're placing us with these children, Lord. Just so thankful. Give us laughter, Lord. Give us rest, Jesus. Give us clarity when we're in uncertain situations, Jesus. I pray for strength. I pray over all these IEP meetings that are to come, Lord, in this next month. Jesus, I pray and I just ask that you let every mother listening right now just feel seen, Lord. They feel held by you, Jesus, and they just don't feel alone, Lord. I hope that you speak worth over them, Jesus, that you speak grace over them, Jesus, and that you speak love over them, Jesus. I pray that they just don't leave your presence, Jesus, that you just are with them and dwelling in them, Lord, and dwelling in our children, Jesus. I ask all these things in your mighty, mighty name, Lord Jesus. I thank you so much. We love you. Amen. Sister, I love y'all. Thank you. Thank you for educating yourself. Thank you for adding to this community, Lord. Just thankful for y'all. And yeah, you're radiant. Your motherhood's radiant. Your child is radiant. If this episode touched your heart, come find me on Instagram. My DMs are always open, like I said. I want to hear from y'all. I love hearing from y'all. Your comments. Oh my goodness, this last week I've been getting so many comments or ads on these y'all's pages. Thank you for coming to me or even thinking that I am the advice, Sometimes I'm like, I don't know if I have all the answers, but I feel honored that y'all respect my advice, and my knowledge. So yeah, if it touched you, come find me and message me, tag me in whatever you want to tag me in, and I'm there. I'm showing up. I'm growing y'all's community. I thank y'all for growing mine. And until next time, stay soft, stay strong, and stay radiant. And 1% better every day. Remember, y'all, 1% better every day is more than enough. I love y'all, and I'm just speaking blessings over this week coming up for us, and blessings over y'all's children. Have a good night.